And I am happy to report that I am here today to welcome the transition into a new year. Anyone ready for that? Yes? Okay. And even though it doesn't actually resolve all of the issues and magically put things back to being normal again, whatever that is, it is another sign that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The proverbial wrecking ball of 2020 has changed our reality and has woken all of us up to a new understanding and a different way of seeing reality. We have all had to find new ways of coping, and we have learned to adapt, probably in ways that we didn't realize that we could. But before we bid 2020 good riddance, perhaps we can take a little time today to do a bit of reframing and honor the truth of it all, the magnitude of the impact that it has had, and reflect on that which is so much bigger than we are, and the very personal impact of this year on our own hearts and souls. We can't always control external circumstances, but we can look to our values and our beliefs to guide us and sustain us through hope, no matter what comes our way. And this reminds me of a favorite quote from a great historian, author, professor, playwright, and activist, Howard Zinn. To be hopeful, Zinn writes, in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. What we choose to emphasize in this complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. And if we remember those times and places, and there are so many, where people have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act, and at least the possibility of sending this spinning top of a world into a different direction. And if we do act, in however small a way, if we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future, that future is an infinite succession of present moments. And to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. Have you noticed your sense of identity being changed and being challenged, maybe rewritten a bit during this pandemic and the accompanying political disaster that we have all been witnessing? The impact of this is going to have us redefining ourselves and our country and our world for many years to come. There's no question. And it is true that this pandemic has been mismanaged and hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost, many more than needed to be. And countless people have acted with compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. There is much grief and heartbreak and suffering that deserves to be fully felt and expressed. But to be stuck in that place is to lose our hope. So right now, in this moment between solstice and New Year's, Christmas and New Year's, we are in a moment of pause. That darkest part of winter, the end of the year. The Northern Hemisphere has exhaled completely and is on the brink of her long inhale. And the energy of life is at a still point, a moment between reflection and anticipation. So now is the time to begin dreaming a new world into being, just as the earth is also doing. There will be better days. There will be better days. If you haven't already, I would like you to gather your candle to light and a small piece of paper, a cup of or bowl of water, a rock or even 2 rocks, a notebook, perhaps a journal or something to take some notes on, and maybe even a water-based marker and a permanent marker if you feel like it. I'll give you a couple of moments to gather those things. As we take stock of how we lived through this past year, and as we consider what guides us into 2021, I share with you a simple quote, a quote that summarizes our 7 principles and summarizes countless treatises and books. And this is from the great spiritual teacher who died 1 year ago, Ram Dass. I would like my life to be a statement of love and compassion. And where it isn't, that's where my work lies. Let me say that again. I would like my life to be a statement of love and compassion. And where it isn't, that's where my work lies. So as you consider that for yourself and what that means for you, now is the time for us to rest in that stillness, that great pause in the cold winter hands of the earth, to turn inward and listen to the wisdom of our own hearts and souls. There are 4 parts to this ritual. This is much like a guided meditation. Let the symbolism be what it needs to be for you, and let your own truth, your own needs and desires, and your own wisdom speak to you today. I can say for me, the hardest time of this year was August through November, when here in northern Colorado, everything was on fire. And yet, as I think about the places that burned, the vast mountainsides, there is new growth already starting to happen from the beetle kill trees that burned. They needed to burn, honestly. And to burn something is to transform it, to burn away an exterior and to reveal something unseen within. This is a ritual of cleansing and transforming. So I ask you, what falsities are you ready to burn away? What is it that was hidden that is ready to be revealed? How do you welcome it? What about this year symbolizes burning away? I invite you to write this down on a small piece of paper. And this piece of paper will be for you to burn. If you happen to be in a place where you can burn it now, that's fine. Otherwise, outside when you're able. What is it that you are burning away to make the way for something new? I'll give you a few moments to ponder. For all of us, and for all that you have written, I will burn mine. And as we continue to honor the elements of the earth and all of the ways that they cleanse us, these elements, and feed us and nurture us and heal us, let us invite the power of water. Water carries that which no longer serves you. It carries it away, washes and cleanses. What has been hard for you? What has been painful for you that you are ready to wash away? You might want to choose a rock. Maybe a rock that symbolizes the rough edges, those aspects of life that have been painful. What does this rock symbolize for you that you are ready to wash away, let go of? Oh, that's a beautiful rock, Barb. Really beautiful. The power of great beauty with rocks like that just bring them cleansing and more beauty, don't they? And if you feel like it, you can take a marker that is a water-based marker and write on the rock. And when you're ready, I invite you to take this rock and put it into the water to let all that you have spoken, all that it is, wash away. You can breathe those words into the rock as well, what it is that you are ready to let go of. I'll give you a little time. And if you have another rock or something that symbolizes what is solid for you in your life that you want to hang on to, what is it that has gotten you through this crazy year of 2020? Has it been the songs that you're listening to? Has it been your friendships, relationships with others? For many of us, even our own sense of identity has been challenged. Our habits have changed. The rhythm of our life has changed. What is solid for you that is keeping you going? And for that, whatever that may be, I invite you to speak that into your rock with fondness and with gratitude, for this is what you hold on to. And if that was a rock that you're speaking to, put it and keep it in a place that will remind you of these things. And you can write with a permanent marker onto that rock. I think I'll carry mine in my pocket. And now, if you have your candle, I invite you to consider your true essence, the unique light that you are in this world. You might see me looking over because I'm really enjoying seeing all of you on gallery view. And for those of you that have your cameras off and feel like putting them on, please do for a bit so that we can see each other. How beautiful. And seeing, whether you're seeing a picture or a name or people, each one of us is a light, a beautiful, unique light. And if you haven't already, I invite you to light your candle, symbolizing the amazing light that you are, Too often, this light gets covered over as we are trying to please others or fit into a role or somehow are hurt and injured by things people say. So I invite you, as you light this candle, in recognition of your truest self, that light within you that is at the core of your very being. And just look into this light. Your light is capable of healing and of wholeness. This is the light that guides you to grow endlessly to the end of your days. So I ask you, how will you nurture and feed this light, this most precious light? How will you feed and nurture it during this coming year? What can you do to encourage this light to burn brightly, your truest self? You might want to write a few notes down as you think of it. I'll give you a little time. And I invite you to gaze with love and with kindness and fondness and gratitude into this beautiful light, symbolizing you and the amazing light that you are. And as you consider that beautiful light, how do you see your light combining with the light of others to bring healing to our world in the midst of the darkness? For my friends, one thing this pandemic has taught us more than anything else is how deeply interconnected we are and how much our world needs to heal. And none of us can do it alone. But working together, coming together, bringing our lights, our flames into one harmony is where we find the healing for the world. And there is much that we cannot do and that we cannot fix. We cannot change anyone truly but ourselves. And our situation will continue to be a challenge into this new year. I don't know what 2021 brings, but we know that it will continue to be a challenge. But when we commit ourselves to being our best selves, our better angels, our brightest light, it invites everyone else around us to do the same and to open those new doors of possibility that we need so much. Because the stakes are very high now and getting higher all the time. There is much suffering in the world and in our homes, and our country is breaking down and breaking open. We need hope, and we find it by healing each other, by reaching across to those that we do not know and that we do not relate to. It is time. It is time to find a better way and to heal the polarization and the divisiveness in our country. And we do this through courageous love and compassion and justice. There is a beautiful song to remind us of this. It is through the power of love that we will find our path forward. And this is the hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere, which is an African American spiritual from the time of slavery. It is a heartfelt plea that is, in the face of blatant oppression and horrific abuse and systemic racism, there must be more love somewhere in this world. There must be more peace, more hope, and more joy in this world. Throughout our history as Unitarian Universalists, we have worked as instruments of change to bring these life-giving, life-affirming virtues that every human needs into this world to help everyone's flame burn brightly. No matter what the future holds, may we today, through this ritual and always, recommit ourselves to answering this call for more love, more compassion, more justice, and more healing and hope for yet another year. For truly this is where we find hope. Let us humbly live our lives from this place, today and always. Amen. Blessed be, and Ashe.